Here are 5 Regulation F teams in 5 minutes. Team creators in the description below. Here is how we will rate each team. Let's go. This team is by top Spanish player Alex Soto and uses some of the most aggressive pairs from Regulation E like Torn, Urshifu, along with other staple Pokemon like Fluttermane and Rillaboom. Like other hyper-offensive teams, it hits like a damn truck right out of the gate, but you don't get isekai'd into another world, you're just dead. Unlike its predecessors, it does manage to patch up a lot of weaknesses that hyper-offensive teams tend to have, like poor positioning capabilities and lackluster late-game offense, by utilizing some of the new Pokemon introduced in the DLC. As a hyper-offensive team, it's easy to pick up and start using, but it's difficult to master. The team is built with strong fundamentals, both offensively and defensively, but doesn't offer a lot in the way of surprises that set it apart from other hyper-offensive teams. I give this team 7.5 out of 10. This next team is by top Swiss player Carmine Ragone and is aptly named Sun Spam. That being said, playing against this team is no fun day on the beach. If you look up high damage on Bulbapedia, it probably shows you the rental code for this team. It does lose quite a bit of steam if you lose the Weather War, even with Walking Wake. You do have Manual Sun with Whimsicott, but a smart opponent may be able to play around this. On top of that, while you are capable of doing a metric ton of damage in the sun, you have to be careful with your positioning because flying type moves like Bleak Wind Storm for Tornadus hit half of your guys for super effective damage. Overall, very easy team to use, just not very well balanced. I give this team 6.5 out of 10. This next one is a very cool team from top USA player and YouTuber James Baek. If you're like me and thinking just really hurts, then you'll love this team. With Pokemon like Clear Body Metagross and Inner Focus Entei, you are able to throw some heavy hitters on the field and just mindlessly click buttons. For real, this team is very easy to use, but doesn't offer a lot of counterplay with its less than optimal matchups. Basically, if you lose speed control, it's going to be a tough ride to get the win. Unlike many hyper-offensive teams, this team does offer a lot of surprises with multiple offensive Terras. Coupled with a few choice synergistic abilities, like Chien-Pao's Sword of Ruin, the level of damage that this team can produce is pretty jarring if you aren't ready for it. Although the team is not super well balanced, it does get style points for Assault Vest Terra Dragon Metagross. I mean, that's just cool. I give this team 6.5 out of 10. If you're into VGC, then you've probably heard of the next guy, Kneeckoh, from his YouTube channel Kneeckoh Gaming. Love it or hate it, Psychic Spam or Psy Spam is here to stay, and it has brand new tools with the DLC bringing Expanding Force to many new Pokemon. Seriously, if you haven't seen my Kanto Executor Expanding Force team, you're missing out, link in the description. This team is going to get you wins on the ladder, with speed control that is nearly impossible to stop, and Pokemon that are sporting some of the strongest neutral hits in the game. As with most Trick Room teams, it is far from balanced, and if you aren't able to keep up Trick Room, you're definitely going to be having an uphill battle. Basically, Psy Spam is here for a good time, not a long time. That being said, when you have a team that doesn't need to invest in speed, you can surprise your opponents with some shockingly bulky Pokemon. I mean, check this moment out, I actually laughed out loud when it happened. You may hate it, but for new players looking to get some W's on the ladder, this team is an easy pick. I give it 7 out of 10. The final team on this list is by another fun content creator and self-proclaimed Trick Room specialist, Matt Bruno. Now while this team has Trick Room as an option, it very rarely needs to click it, which makes me a little bit suspicious of you, Matt, but I digress. What he has created here is a pretty fun balance team, with a few surprise picks such as Liquid Voice Primarina and Snarl Okidoki. The team utilizes a supporting cast of Pokemon to activate a few key offensive pieces. These pieces, like Dragon Dance Roaring Moon, are nearly impossible to stop once they get going. That being said, this team is not for the faint of heart. Many of the key offensive pieces on this team need time to set up, and Pokemon that offer immediate damage like Primarina have very poor matchups to Pokemon that are common in the meta. Overall, this is not the easiest team to pick up and use, but if you have the time to practice, it can get you some pretty fantastic wins. I give this team 5 out of 10. Please keep in mind, just because a team got a certain rating, it doesn't mean that the team is really bad, or even really good for that matter. This is just the rating that I gave it based on the criteria that I outlined at the start of the video. So there you go, 5 teams in 5 minutes. I hope you're having an excellent day, and thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, it means the world to me, and peace.